L'air du désert marocain by the House of Tower. A lot of perfume critics and a lot of perfume reviewers say that this is the finest niche fragrance of all time. I'm very excited to do the unboxing and initial impressions with you guys here. I've been waiting a long time to get this. I finally pulled the trigger on it. I'm very excited to review it and to introduce it to you guys. I hope you enjoy the following review because I sure will. I have a feeling this one's going to be very interesting. Stick around. Hey everybody, welcome back to Real Scent Review. Thanks for tuning in. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, please consider doing so. Also, drop a like if you enjoy the video. I'm going to be reviewing Tower's L'air du désert marocain, which means Moroccan desert air. Again, this is by Andy Tower, the name behind the house. He is a master perfumer and he actually has a degree in chemistry, so he has quite a lot of experience mixing different notes together, and from what I've been told, he really knows what he's doing. So yeah, this, if you've been following fragrances at all, you've probably heard of this one here, Moroccan desert air, like I said, L'air du désert marocain. So it gets a lot of hype. You know, a lot of fragrance reviewers, a lot of critics say that this is one of, if not the best niche fragrances ever released. And, you know, I jumped on the hype train. I just had to get this one to review it. I like to consider myself pretty daring when it comes to different fragrances. So here I am. I pulled the trigger. I can't wait to review this. Can't wait to smell it for the first time. Yeah, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. Okay, so here we have the outer sleeve. The box slides out. Okay. There's the other side of the inside of the sleeve here, rather. Okay. Box here, aluminum. Interesting. And it looks like there's a card in the back here that explains the ingredients, all that jazz. Okay. So it looks like it slides. Yes, it does. It slides open thusly. Okay, there's a card. Number 2 in the numbered collection. And my favorite part of this is Andy Tower himself takes the time to autograph every single card in every single box. So I think that's interesting. Okay, the bottle now, small blue pentagon, interesting. And it has the number 2 here. Very minimalist. I really like the design here. As you can see, it's translucent blue. I think this is really classy. I really like this bottle. Let's see how the cap comes off. Okay. A little bit difficult, yeah, okay, because there's a little bit of a rubber grommet or a rubber washer here. So the cap does stick on pretty well. Yeah, okay, you want to twist this off ever so gently and kind of just wiggle it back on, you know? Wiggle it off. Because I have a feeling this part of the atomizer would come off fairly easily. Anyway, 0 hour. Let's get the scent going. It's gonna waste my very first spray. Good atomizer. Ooh, okay. All right. I like it. Right off the bat, I do like it. Now, I'm not going to go over the official notes here. I like to avoid any sort of bias or external influence when I review a scent for the very first time. I'm going to give you what I actually detect here in the scent. All right, so initial application, I've just sprayed it on. Whew. Amber, heavy on the amber. Very nice. All right, definitely some amber in the opening mixed with some spices. I'd say a little bit of coriander, a little bit of cumin. What else is there? There's something else that's a little bit of petit grain. So it's kind of like a bitter orange, the bitter orange leaf, just a tad. And it's definitely sweetened by that amber. So the beginning here, amber, spices, and the petit grain adds a slightly bitter orange nuance to the sweetness of the amber and, of course, the bite of the spices. My goodness, is this ever well blended? Really like that here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go wait a half hour and I'm going to come back to this video and I'm going to tell you, what I detect in the mid and the dry down of this fragrance. Okay, I've waited actually 45 minutes and I'm back now. And I'm starting to detect definitely some patchouli in here in the mid. There's some patchouli. There's a little bit of cedar. Maybe a light touch of oak moss. And now also that it's drying down a little bit, I get some more amber. I definitely get some more coriander, some spice, and some ambergris to finish things off here. Okay, what can I say about this altogether? You know, from all the research that I've done on this, there are a lot of people out there who say that this is inaccessible, that this is very challenging and brash and bold and loud and adjective after adjective. I have to say, although I acknowledge that everybody has a different olfactory system, everybody detects different notes in fragrances differently, I have to say there's really nothing challenging about this, at least that I can detect so far. I think this is a very pleasant scent, very artistic. This is not a typical scent here. This is nothing like anything I've smelled. It's very different, unique. Now, I must say, in the initial opening with the amber, the sweet amber mixed with that bitter orange, it did remind me ever so slightly, and you're gonna laugh, but it did remind me ever so slightly of Chanel Allure Homme Sport, just in the opening for the first 5 minutes or so, which is gone now. But like I said, the way that the bitter orange that mixes with the slightly sweet amber does remind me a little bit of that fragrance just in the opening. But altogether, I mean, man, this is unique. I really enjoy this. I guess it helps to, not believe everything you hear on the internet. Because if I had listened to all those reviews saying that this is too strong, too aggressive, too bold, I don't know. I think I would have been a little bit disappointed. But, I like to go into things with an open mind. And, as I say here, I don't really get anything challenging here. Now, I am going to let this sit for a few months, and I will be doing a full review on this later on after a few months. I like to let things mature a little bit. I like to spray, get a few, sprays of the liquid out of the bottle, and then let it sit and mature for several months, and then revisit it. Because when that happens, the scents get the ingredients in the scent get some time to marry and mix together, and 90% of the time, maybe even more frequently, the composition changes over the months, the longer you let it sit. A prime example of that would be with Gucci Intense Oud, another awesome fragrance that I'm going to be reviewing soon. When I first got that, I was very underwhelmed, frankly, a little bit disappointed. But now, that I've let it sit and mature for a few months, the scent has gotten much stronger and it's a much better composition. And, I'm going to let this sit. I'm going to do the same thing with L'air du désert Marocain by Tower. I'm going to revisit it in a few months. But I have to say, right off the bat, I am quite a fan of this. I really, really like this. And I don't know. I can't tell you anything about the performance yet because, like I said, I just haven't had it long enough. I literally got this morning. It was delivered. I mean, as of right now, I would recommend this. I would definitely recommend this to just about any level of collector. Now, going back to uniqueness and originality, this, besides, like I said, in the initial stages of this, where it reminds me of Chanel's Allure Homme Sport, other than that, after the first 5 minutes, this does not remind me of anything I've ever smelled. This is not your typical fragrance. And I do not mean that in a negative way. I think this is awesome so far. It's just not typical. But then again, like I said, I grew up in Western society. I'm not sure if in Northern Africa or in the Middle East, scents like this are more popular, more prominent. I've never been to Morocco. I don't actually know if this smells like the Moroccan desert. Although it is spicy. I don't mean to generalize, but I am familiar with Moroccan food and the spices, some of the spices involved in that cuisine, which I absolutely love. This does not make me think of any sort of food. This does not remind me of cuisine. Like I said, I've never actually been to the desert, but I guess, you know, if I close my eyes and I imagine an image of what this scent conveys, I don't know. I don't necessarily get a desert scene. I get, honestly, a little bit of freshness, maybe, yeah, some spice, definitely some fresh spiciness and some sweetness from the amber. I don't know, maybe like a market, a dry market somewhere near the ocean, I guess, because there is some ambergris. I don't know, I did a horrible job of of the imagery there, I'm sorry. But yeah, right off the bat, I don't detect the desert sort of scenery, although it is a little bit dry. It's really good though. I mean, fantastic. Very unique as far as anything I've ever smelled before. Does not remind me of anything. Like I said, not your typical fragrance. So I guess what I have to say is right off the bat for my first impression is I am impressed. I really like it. I don't think it's challenging. I don't think it's challenging, but also I don't think it's very common. Like I said, I've never smelled anything like this. So it might not be what you're expecting, especially if you read the note breakdown on like Fragrantica or you know, other review websites, because I have to say a lot of times those notes are not accurate in general, but especially not with this fragrance here. I don't think most of the note breakdowns on the internet are accurate when they're describing this one, L'air du désert marocain. Okay guys, that's gonna do it for my unboxing and initial impressions of L'air du désert marocain by Tower. I hope you've enjoyed my review. I am going to be posting a full-length review, like I said, in a couple of months after I've had time to let this mature a little bit. And until then, guys, thanks for tuning in and keep it real.